Are we live?
We're live.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Dreamcatchers. What's the matter? We are so excited to be in Ming and the Shared Universe's brand new studio. It's not that new, but it's new to us. In downtown Red Bank, we have not been live in studio since, well, at Bellworks, we were live a few times. But we have not been live in studio since probably right before the pandemic.
The C word.
The C word in BC, if you will. So welcome to the Dreamcatchers. I am Jamie, my sister Marissa.
Hi. Hi, guys.
We are going to have all of our guests introduce themselves in just a second, but we have two right here live with us. Thrilled to have them. And then also a bunch via Zoom. So because Ming is so amazing at technology, he is making this work for all of us because I don't know what's happening. So welcome. We are here for a very special episode of What's the Matter? And today we are talking about family matters. Get it? We love a double entendre, by the way. Family.
That was me, by the way.
Marissa goes, family matters. I'm like, totally love
Did
it.
it.
So we are here because National Siblings Day, for those that don't know, is this coming Sunday, April 10th. So we are here tonight to talk about National Siblings Day with a couple of our friends and colleagues who work with their siblings as well. In this case, lots of sisters in the house, although we did invite, to be fair, we did invite some brothers, but we got mostly sisters here tonight. And we're also here with our friend Bonnie from Bonnie Jennifer Jewelry. There's Bonnie. She's going to introduce herself in a second to talk about this incredible program that she put together with the folks over at Sibling Support Project in honor of her sister Cindy, who's also with us tonight. Can everyone say hi to Cindy?
Hi, Cindy.
There's Cindy and Tatiana. Hi, Cindy. Okay, so what I'd love to do before, Marissa, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for everybody for coming. Jamie said it eloquently. That's it.
So I wanted to start, just quickly have everyone introduce themselves fast. Quickly, just who you are and your business. And then we're going to go around again with a little bit more information about your actual brand and things like that. But I wanted to give the opportunity for Bonnie to speak first and introduce her sister, Cindy. So if everyone could just say who you are and where you're from, you just introduce yourself and your brand, and then we'll come back around and dig a little deeper. So Bonnie, you can go ahead and start.
Hi,
your name and your brand.
Okay. Hi, my name is Bonnie from Bonnie Jennifer, and I am in downtown Brooklyn.
And Bonnie, you are a jewelry designer, correct?
I'm a jewelry designer. Yes, I am.
Amazing. Okay, so Bonnie, by the way, she likes to be modest, but I'll brag on her behalf, was like the originator of the gold balls that like everyone wears in copies now. So Bonnie was like first. Bonnie, I really like your Instagram ad that's happening right now where you run your gold bars under the shower.
Under the shower.
And you're like, this is why you buy Bonnie, because it doesn't turn.
Doesn't turn or tarnish.
Doesn't turn or tarnish. Welcome, Bonnie. So happy to have you here.
Thank
Can't wait to
you.
come back to you and ask you, a little bit more about what you're working on right now. Next, I'm going to have these girls introduce themselves since they're sitting right next to me.
I am Lexi. We are the local shack based in Long Branch.
Amazing. They are sisters that run a business right here in Long Branch, which is close to our house. Then we have, go ahead, Ellen, introduce yourself.
I'm Ellen Ashenoff. I'm a social worker and a mom in Fairhaven, New Jersey, near Jamie and Marissa. And I'm a social worker.
And you're here tonight. Why, Ellen? Why did we ask you to be here?
I have a son with special needs. He's on the autism spectrum, and he has 2 siblings.
Amazing. Thank you for coming, Ellen. She was a last-minute ad. We're so happy to have her. Okay, and the Remnant
VIP.
And the Remnant Co. girls?
Hi guys, we're Christy and Anna Faye. We're Remnant Co. We're from New Jersey, Northern Jersey, and we have an apparel line. So we do like t-shirts and a bunch of fun stuff.
Tie-dye, cool stuff that I have.
Probably should have worn. I probably should have worn my
should have worn
Remnant.
some of my remnant tonight.
I know. Whoops. Okay, and then I'd love, Bonnie, would you like to introduce your sister?
Sure. Hi, Cindy. Cindy is actually in Florida right now.
Oh, Cindy's in the warm weather, and that's Tatiana. Thank you for coming, Tatiana.
Yeah.
So, Bonnie, you
Tatiana
want to
is
tell
amazing.
us a little bit about Cindy and why you created this amazing bracelet, which, by the way, we have right here. So
Yeah,
Marissa
thank
hasn't
you.
put hers on yet. I don't know if we can see that. Can you hold this up to the camera a little closer so people can see it? So go ahead, Bonnie.
Ming's
Tell us
going to get in some cardio and some steps.
Tell us a little bit about your project that you've worked on.
Sure. So Cindy is my older sister, and I've been obsessed with Cindy actually since I was a little child. Always looked up to her and thought she was amazing, and she always puts a smile on my face. And I thought when I was younger that I was destined to be a social worker. So I went into, I got my master's in social work, just like Ellen. And I actually realized that I was overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated, even though I was very passionate about doing that work. I was really inspired by Cindy and thought I was going to stay in the field. And then I just realized that it wasn't for me and I was destined to do something else. I knew that I was put on this earth to have purpose, which is why I added the purpose part to my brands. But I decided to just kind of in 2009, 2010, after being a social worker, I decided to just jump in and become a jewelry designer. And I was inspired by my mother actually to be a jewelry designer. My mom's an artist. She makes sculptures and really fabulous nude art. And I was also inspired by my father, who was an entrepreneur. So I merged all of those three elements, having a sister who's, disabled, and having a mom who's an artist, and having a family who's a long line actually of entrepreneurs. And I merged all those three together, and that's when I created Bonnie Jennifer. And I decided at the way beginning of my jewelry brand that I wanted to lead with something good, which is where the purpose came in. I wanted to take the elements of being a social worker. So I jumped in and I did about 40 pop-ups a year. And basically, as you all know, COVID hit. And so I had to take that same concept and translate that, online. So I actually outreached to Emily from the Sibling Support Project. And I realized that she also has a brother with disabilities. And I actually joined her group, which is a group of over 5,000 people. And it's a group that's on Facebook, and people go ahead and they talk about their, am I blurry, by the way? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, all of a sudden you're blurry. You have a filter on?
No, I didn't touch anything. That's so bizarre.
You look great. Who cares? It's all right. We can hear you.
It's okay. I can be blurred as long as you can hear me.
Yeah,
right?
we can hear you.
Okay. So, I went on there and I had a private conversation with Emily, and I basically said to Emily that I would
it's a Facebook like support group for folks with siblings.
Exactly.
Got it.
Focuses just on siblings. And, through the pandemic, I realized, I really wanted to focus more on my core passion, which is really working with the disabled population. And so when I spoke to Emily, I just was so excited because I was able to not only connect with her because we have, something in common, but I was able to do something, good to come out of it. So we decided to work together and create this. I don't know if you guys can see because I'm blurry.
It's all right. We got it here.
We showed it.
I'm wearing it.
It's beautiful, actually.
And it says S Heart S, which means sibling support, by the way, but also happens to be my son's initials and Marissa's daughter's first letters of their names. So it worked out really well. I'm happy to wear mine for siblings, but also for Sam Stozer. And hers is for Sienna and Summer.
Yep.
Which was accidental and amazing at the same time. But yeah, it says SS, right? With a heart in between on like a beautiful piece of, what do you want to call, is it leather? What is this?
It's a black cord.
Black cord with gold balls and a gold clasp.
Oh, that matches you perfectly.
Yeah,
right?
It's actually the material sterling silver dipped in gold. It's considered vermeil. And so we didn't use our classic material, what we normally use, which is the gold filled, but we decided to kind of stick with the same theme.
Perfect. I love it. And so you created this bracelet with Emily.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more about you're selling it on your website.
Right,
and you were inspired because of your sister and her brother, correct?
Exactly. So I decided we were doing this this little, limited edition. The first 100 pieces will be sold now. It's live now. And it's from April 6th, which is today, until April 10th, which is actually Siblings Day.
Love it.
And we're going to donate 50% of the proceeds of the sales online for this bracelet will go directly to the Sibling Support Project. And then in addition to that, we're doing online, site-wide, 15% will also go to the Sibling Support Project.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Actually, I'm really excited to wear this. What I'm deciding on right now is which hand it's going to live on. So I'm not sure if it's a right hand thing or a left hand thing, but it's very, just so you guys know, it's very elegant and very dainty in like all the best ways. So
Okay, so Bonnie, besides the
I'm
fact that
trying to
you're,
see if you guys
why
can
is she
see.
blurry? Do you think you know why?
Oh yeah, can you move your camera off to the side real quick and then move it back?
Sure.
It's just trying to focus on something weird.
Move it so the camera should go.
Yeah, so you're not in it and then move it back. I'm trying to get it to focus on you.
All right, move out. Bonnie's just gonna
And
leave for a
moving.
second.
Yeah.
Weird.
Did you try turning it off and turning it back on?
Okay, that usually works.
It's still blurry, but
better.
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 All right, so Bonnie, before we move on to the rest of the folks here, can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Cindy and how it's been growing up with her, and just tell us a little bit more about your relationship with Cindy and why, you know, this has been such an important part of your journey? Because I mean, we're so honored to have Cindy here tonight, so I just wanted to make sure that we spend a little,
Cindy.
yeah, spend a little time talking, you know, to Cindy through you, Bonnie. So if you could just tell us a little bit more about Cindy and what she struggles with and how you've worked through that with her as her sister all these years. And now we're doing this incredible work to honor her and also others out there who have a sibling with special needs.
Sure. So Cindy she lives with multiple disabilities. She has cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and she's, she has intellectual, I would say, developmental disabilities as well. So she is limited in terms of how she can speak. She can say words, right, Sin? You could say hi, you could say bye. She could say yes. She could definitely say words, and she's pretty smart, and she knows. Are you smiling, Cindy?
Cindy's smiling because she hears Bonnie talking so nicely about her. I love it.
And she's very, very sweet and very kind and very loving. But she understands a lot more than people think. And so I was inspired by Cindy because she's just, overall, she's just, like I said, just a joy to be around. And so as her, even though I'm a younger sister, obviously I protected her growing up. So when she would cry, of course, I would have to hug her and, make sure she felt safe and loved. And are you still smiling? I think she's smiling. Hi, Sin. And, I just knew that, again, I just felt like she was special to me. And I knew that I was born to do something with purpose. And I just think that she really, like I said, my relationship with Cindy has always been amazing. I really do consider her my best friend. And unfortunately, she wasn't living with us at certain times. She would go away and come back every 3 weeks. And I think that was very difficult. But now she's been living with our family full time for the last 20 years. And she just puts a smile on everyone's face. And when she hears music, she lights up the room. I mean, she screams to the high heavens when she listens to music. She loves books. And I don't know, like I said, she just is, I feel like I'm put on this earth to just help people through her. That's pretty much it.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here, Bonnie. And Cindy is smiling, I think. It's a little dark in her room, but we're seeing her smile from here, and we're so happy that she's here with us. Thank you, Tatiana, for being here with her. So, and you know what, while we're on this topic just for a second, I'd love to go to Ellen next, to have Ellen introduce herself. Tell us a little bit about you, Ellen, and the work that you do. And then we can dig into a little bit more of the sibling connection, working with our sisters and things like that.
Sure. I'm a social worker and a parent of a child on the autism spectrum and with intellectual disabilities. And I've been on this road. He just turned 18. So I've been doing this for a while. And I think I work, telehealth since the pandemic, but I was working in person before that. And people just seem to call me or reach out to me for advice or direction, support, connections in the community. I think that it's very hard when you have a sibling or a child. If you're newly diagnosed, you kind of have a lot to navigate in the world and schools and programs, therapies. So I think that people have just given my name out, and I like being a resource and I like connecting people. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And then I have 2 daughters who are younger than my son. And so they have a special relationship with him, very different, both of them. My youngest is like you, Bonnie, like, his protector, his best friend. She's super loving. And then my middle one is she's protective, and she'll, show it when no one's looking. And, she takes care of him when we're crossing the street. If I'm behind her, she doesn't know that I see that she's grabbing him and holding him. So, that's kind of who I am and what I'm doing.
I love that. Do you have anything to add?
I just so Ellen is the very first person I met when I moved here, and it's because my dad picked her up on the playground, which is a true story. It's actually a true story, and but I think of her often, just her ability to balance, and none of us balance gracefully, let's be honest, but she balances her family and her work and her passion so elegantly in my eyes. And, I think through her page, which I follow, Mom with Needs, sometimes I think...
Which is a double entendre, too.
Yeah, it is a double entendre.
We have a lot of needs.
I think sometimes it's really nice to have, for lack of a better way of expressing it, perspective. Life is hard. All of us have a lot of stuff on our plates. Right. And every once in a while, you think to yourself, well, my kids might be driving me crazy, but I'm thankful that I have them for, they're this, and this. And I look to leaders like Ellen, who has made magic with her family and has helped others that need that assistance as a priority to her. And, like what Bonnie was saying, she's put on this planet to help others through her sister. I think it matches for Ellen that, I would think of you right away as somebody that would be a warm resource of anybody that had a question for anything in the world of children with special needs.
And I now feel like that about Bonnie.
Yeah.
I did not know about Bonnie the first 2 or 3 times I've met her. And now I know about Bonnie, and I will remember about Bonnie, as we all will.
It's empowering and it's normalizing. And there's a lot of people in our communities, in our friendships, in our worlds, in our orbits that have family members that have needs that are not traditional. And
Right.
They should be part of the family, should be part of the dialogue, it should be part of our society. And there's so much that by just talking like this raises awareness and mindfulness to their needs, their day-to-day, and the struggles and challenges and celebrations of our friends that love them. So I'm glad you're here, Ellen, and I think it's important. I know you're humble and you're private, but at the end of the day, you help a lot of people. And
Well, I think that I thought while Bonnie was talking, I was thinking about my own girls and growing up with a sibling with special needs. Like, I don't know how many people you shared with, Bonnie, while you were young, but I always ask my girls, like, when they're having a friend come over, I just want to know, like, are they comfortable? Do they know? Mm-hmm. And I think that it's great you found a group now. I mean, obviously you're older now and it's a different relationship with your sibling, but it's so important to keep those conversations going no matter what age you are.
Yes. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because when I was a child, nobody discussed it. It was silent. And I was passionate always about having Cindy as my sister, always. Her head was always down because of her weight, her CP. And I would always lift her head up. And it was always something that I neatly did. And in that uplifting her head, it also reminded me of helping her and helping her rise, to being the best that she can be. So it was also symbolic. Okay. And I just kind of felt that it was so nice, like you said, Ellen, to have a group now, because there was actually somebody that I learned much later on who lives around the corner from me, who also went to high school with me, who parents know each other, so much connections. And we went to camp together and found out that we have a sibling in common. And it wasn't something that we knew because nobody talked about it. And it wasn't because we didn't talk about it because we were embarrassed. We just weren't encouraged.
There weren't words.
Yes,
There weren't words.
But also sometimes you just want to have your own fun or your own school situation or your own play date or your own whatever.
Right.
I know, that's at least my girls. It's, sometimes they just want to have their own thing and not talk about it.
Right.
Which
And
is
I think
also
it's-
fair too, I think.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I do think about how many people your lives touch, right? So not only are you parenting your own family or living within your own family, but each child that's exposed to your family is learning from you, which is a huge cross to bear, right?
Yeah.
So, the amount of good work that you're doing continuously,
Audience. It's pretty awesome nowadays. It's all because of Ming. In fact, sometimes we look at our listenership and we are shocked. All over the world, all over the country. So, hi, listeners in Belgium or whoever is listening. So, tell us just some career advice. Anything that you've been given.
they're Googling Fairhaven.
Yeah, they're like, "Where is Fairhaven? I want to move there. It sounds idyllic." Yeah. So, tell us a little bit. I could start with you guys. Do you have any advice for
I
people
think
that
we
are
agree
stuck?
on this one a lot, right?
What?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Oh, that. Yeah, just
Yeah.
do it. Like,
And
I love
that
that.
isn't just like do it and everything will be figured out. Like do it and then it'll bring
Just
you
do
a
the best
step
at what you can.
towards her.
yeah, like try your
Towards her.
hardest. Try your hardest, like with whatever it is, and if it still screws up, like there's a million people watching you. And when we started our store, we didn't know what we were doing. People would come in and literally be like,
We just started.
they'd say, "What are you guys?" And we're like, and we'd laugh and we'd be like, "We don't know."
Yeah,
But
we're
doing
figuring it out. Yeah.
And people would still just come in. They go, "Well, why'd you do it?" And we're like, "Well, we just did it." They're like, "That's it?"
Yeah.
And they just said that was the biggest inspiration is that we just took the leap and we're like, we put all of our
Because
all
even if
into
it's
it.
not the final product, you're still a step closer and, a step further away from where you were and closer to where you will want to be or
I love
are
failing.
going to get.
I love failing because every time I fail, it's like it's a stupid idea that I add to something else that I come up with a whipped cream board and I'm like, oh, airbrush machine, and there I go. Like,
I love
and
failing.
That was a
Isn't that
charcuterie board. And I was just like, maybe this. And then a couple times I did it, it curdled, it looked stupid. I bring it out to the table and I was embarrassed. But then by the end of it, I could do it with my eyes closed. And just like with different types of painting and like with you, with wood burning and like all your like painting your shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just creativity, just all these
Or
little
just like
things that led to that.
learn to fail kind of.
Yeah.
Learn to
I love failing. I think that's actually
Fall
really
hard.
good advice. Fall hard so that you can dust yourself off and start over.
Yeah.
Or like take that as a learning and keep going. And Marissa and I have even seen with the Dreamcatchers, we've tripped. I wouldn't say we've necessarily fallen all the way down, but we've tripped along the way trying to figure out what people need from us, what people want from us as career experts, besides the podcast, besides, for a long time during COVID, we were offering community events and things like this, but on a larger scale where people could opt in to our content. And that's what people needed at the time. And now people are back and not as eager for events and content, but rather they want to figure out what's next. So they need resume advice. So then we pivoted yet again and we're like, all right, we're going to offer resume, classes, things like that. So I think not being afraid to fail, that's a really, really good piece of advice. And really taking it to another level to actually embrace failure, not just not being afraid to fail, but you just said, I love to fail. Because,
Remnant Co., they're like renting a store tomorrow.
yeah, they're like, this is it. I'm done. I love the kids, but I'm out. The dentist, I'm done.
My daughter's the GM.
Like, can you franchise the local Shack? No, I think that's actually really good advice though. Embracing failure and learning to love failure. All right, who's next? Anybody want to go next that has something they want to share, Bonnie?
Well, failure is a stepping stone for greatness.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
it kind of ties into what you said. I would say there's a few things. You're never too old to start, so do it. And that kind of also piggyback off of what you said. And I think doing something every day that makes you uncomfortable. So for instance, this podcast made me extremely nervous and I was so uncomfortable to do it. I feel much better now, by the way.
See, I told you we got
did
you.
it.
Before we went live, I was like, don't worry, you guys, we got you.
It's just a conversation.
It's just a conversation. You just happened to be on camera.
That's it.
Yeah.
And thousands of people. No, I'm just kidding. Thousands of people are going to hear you. Anyway, so do something every day that makes you feel uncomfortable.
I mean, it doesn't have to be every day. It could be once a week or whatever, but just do something that makes you do it often and
step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly, because that's how you grow. And if you don't do something that makes you uncomfortable, you're not going to grow and you're always going to be in the same box. So I did a lot of things this year that made me uncomfortable, and I just kind of went for it. And so I'm glad that I did. Life is short. Let's do it, like you guys said.
Ellen, what about you?
A little bit kind of along what Bonnie was saying, but I think I talk a lot to other moms who are overwhelmed and who have kids with a lot of issues, and they want to work. Like myself, I always wanted to work. I always wanted that to be a part of who I was. So I tell people, keep trying, figure it out. Like, you're going to figure out some kind of job that works for your life, as overwhelmed as you might be at home, as much as your kids have going on, your family, your husband, whatever it is. Like, you may not find it right away, and you may try a few different things and quit or change or, whatever, but keep going, because you'll figure out what works and brings you happiness and fulfillment, and keep going.
I love that. And if they need help, they can always come to us. We can help them. So small plug.
Gentle
plug.
Never gentle from Jamie.
It's always a little extra. What about you guys, Remnant? Any career advice?
I mean, I'm just listening to everybody and I'm thinking, I would say, like, for me personally, is surrounding ourselves with other people who are in the same kind of position as us. So ours is creating a network of women or moms that own small businesses in the surrounding towns, in our counties. And we've learned to build a network, and the shore has like a huge community. You guys have a massive network down there, and up north we don't really have that as much.
Where are you guys located again?
People are not nice over here.
Where are you located again?
We're in like northern Jersey,
like
so
Wayne,
Patterson, Clifton.
I went to school up there, so I know.
By the way, that is North Jersey. When people say Livingston's North Jersey, I'm like, you're wrong. That's Central Jersey. Yes, we are from Bergen County, so we're from
Bergen County area.
Yep.
So we've actually built like a local marketplace up here, and we've built a group of small business owners, moms. We encourage women all the time to start their businesses, because they come to us and they're like, oh, I don't have enough money. I don't have the resources. I don't have the talent. I don't know what I'm doing. And, we
don't either.
we can help.
No one has enough money.
We have no idea what we're doing.
No one has enough money, and no one knows what they're doing. Truth.
Always encouragement, always saying, you can do it. Don't wait, start.
Yeah.
And, our biggest piece of advice is like, you don't need all the money in the world. Just have the confidence to take that first step.
And I think started out with less than $300, so anyone could do it.
Got our website. I'm happy to talk to somebody about this. We do what's called the Brand Crush Project, which basically is identifying companies that you would like kill to work for, and actually figuring out how to like manifest a way to work there. And if not to work there, then to work somewhere similar, or to work with those types of brands, and to actually have like real life opportunity to work at your brand crush or with your brand crush. So I like to talk about brand crushes because I just think it's inspirational to see whether it's a business that you just think is killing it, that you're just like, I'm so inspired with what they do. I love their whole business model. Or if it's a local brand that you're really into, that you think is just doing really amazing stuff. Or it's somebody that got you through COVID and you're like, I would not be able to live life without insert brand crush. And I just find it inspirational. And we like to tag them when we post the episode. We find that it just shares love to and shines light on other companies or businesses or women or anything.
It's a little snap from the universe. Also, I think there's something to be said here when you're thinking about this. Okay, we are all cut from the same kind of cloth. Well, we're entrepreneurial. We're solo, in our work. We're on our own. But we, without a doubt, are now thinking of those several individuals that we care about in our lives that don't necessarily have the bandwidth to be as crazy as we all are. and could use this kind of inspiration, which is most people, by the way. Most people don't say at 24 and 32, like, I'm out and I'm going to open this store and it's going to be great. Right? Most people don't have that bandwidth, and it doesn't mean that they're they're not giving up, or it doesn't mean that they didn't figure out how to just do it.
Often
it's just
fear.
not natural
It's
for
fear,
them.
or it's
so we've
just
got to
not-
gift them other
Yes.
ways to feel good about their life, because everybody's meant to do something great. So when you think of your brand crush, know that it could be inspiring to someone that is not able to go out on their own and needs to have a great job that they can call their own. And sometimes, I'm sure we can all admit, I'm jealous of someone like that. I'm jealous I sometimes can't be more linear, right? It'd be nice to just have like a job and watch 6 shows and go to sleep. Like, I don't do that. Jamie still watches 6 shows.
I do
It's
watch
fine.
a lot of TV.
Anyway, so go
consume
ahead.
a ton of
Let's hear
content.
your brand crushes, and think for your friends that don't have, for all of you out there that are not able to go out on your own, I support you and I see you. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be happy. There's lots of things you can do in this world that are super important that are not on your own.
And you can also side hustle or just consume content that's inspirational outside of your day job, or, listen to the Dreamcatchers, or meet some of these girls, or shop their brands, or shop their store.
Right. You incorporate passion and dream into your day to day, and that's as important.
And we say this, I said it before, if you can't find the dream job, find the dream in the job. So, there's other ways to fill that bucket, but, if there's anything that we can gift to our audience, it's this, which is,
All right, Ellen, you go.
check out these brands.
What's your brand crush of the moment?
Anything that's like you can't survive
Like your
without.
favorite place to order, the things that you shop online.
Like literally can't live without.
What is your favorite thing right now?
Oh my God, I have so many. I'm online all the time because
Same.
I've been home
Yeah.
for 2 years. Don't ask me first. Go to
All right.
someone else. You think.
Anybody know one that they can start us off? Anyone have one?
I think we do, right?
I think number one, we love all of our vendors,
Yes,
They're
like that we
number
can't
one.
hone in on.
Right, you can't say one.
but we
Right.
have a brand crush.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this girl that I found, a store that I just stumbled into when I was in Puerto Rico with my friends. And funny enough, this trip to Puerto Rico was planned when I was sitting behind my desk at the job that I hated. And I was like, all right, well, first thing on the list before quitting is I'll just plan a vacation, take a break. And me and my friends were walking around in downtown Rincon, Puerto Rico. And I stumbled into this studio gallery, and it was themed almost exactly how we envisioned bouncing ideas back and forth of a store. And it was 70s surf aesthetic, but it was the pink and orange version of what we had, with down to the stripe and furniture.
It's called Bunkerfish.
It's called Bunkerfish. And the girl, it's just her single, I think she runs it with her girlfriend, but it's her art gallery, merchandise and everything. Come to find out when I'm in there that she was actually back home here doing a mural for someone. So as we followed her, we found so many things that we just kind of resonated with. It was just
But she
freelance
doesn't-
art and
on steroids. It's just I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
your brain.
yeah.
Yes.
Just incredible talent that's just inspiring.
We'll have to check her out.
Bunkerfish.
Bunkerfish.
And her
I've never been to Rincon.
social media handle is just Bunkerfish.
Every year.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just beautiful.
You
But-
bring 300 bucks plane ticket, and then just go get your little pinchos on the side of the road, and you're good.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Yes.
amazing there.
It's awesome.
That's
Simple.
so awesome.
Yeah, grounding vacation.
So I
Definitely.
ended up here as a product of spring break. My mom. Seriously.
I love it. So it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Oh yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little spicy.
Yeah.
Anybody else have one that they can say that they know off the top of their head? Yeah, Bonnie.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but Marie Forleo.
Okay.
Do you guys know who she is?
No?
Okay. So she labels herself as multi-passion entrepreneur.
Oh, I know
And
who she is. I follow her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. And I love her because of so many reasons. But one of the reasons is, first of all, I can connect with her. She's from New Jersey. She's a dancer, Jamie. She's a dancer.
I'll have to check her
and because Jamie likes to dance. And she also is a business owner, and she inspires, empowers entrepreneurs to be the best version of yourself. She has a school called the B School. She's very good at what she does. She asks really good questions. She has her own podcast, And I just love what she stands for. And I love how she approaches things. And I find her to be extremely down to earth and relatable. And so she's my crush, I guess, is that, she's someone I want to aspire to be, I guess, one day.
I love that. Girls, do you have one?
Yeah, we actually we've been following this girl for years. Her name is Pebby for Evie. She's
so awesome. I'm so grateful for everyone for being here, and it really gelled in a way. Not to say I didn't think it would, but that just made so much sense on every level. So happy that everyone was able to be here. Does anybody before we wrap, anything that anybody wanted to say that they didn't get a chance to say? Anything you have coming up? Anything that you wanted to plug? Obviously, we'll tag all of you when we share the episode when it's live. And also, you can share this on your own pages. Bonnie, did you want to just quickly, one more time for the listeners that didn't hear it at the beginning, just talk us through the bracelet and where it's for sale and for when? Through this week, correct?
So this bracelet, also, I don't know if you guys can see because I was blurry before, but maybe. So this bracelet is a limited edition. The first 100 pieces of the bracelet, 50% of the proceeds will go directly to the Sibling Support Project. And then 15% of all the sales site-wide with the code SIB Support will also be donated to the Sibling Support Project. It starts now and it ends the day of Siblings Day, which is
Sunday, the 10th.
Sunday, the 10th. Yeah. And in addition to it, we made also, I don't know if you guys can see.
Yeah, you have a necklace. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. It's S Heart S. And the S's are supportive sibling, the strength. There's a lot of adjectives associated
Sienna
with
and
S's,
Summer.
But it also means love. What? Oh, yeah, exactly.
Sienna and Summer.
And so basically that's it. So this one is $250 and 15% will go towards the supportive Sibling Supportive Project. And this is $50 plus shipping. And that's all online at bonniejennifer.com. And we also have, charity pop-up events all the time. So you guys can follow us. You can sign up for newsletters. And if anybody who's listening wants to partner with me, I'm always open to doing events.
I love it. Anything else we didn't get to cover, you guys? Anything else you wanted to say?
Just thank you.
Aww. And I will say sisters are forever.
Sisters are forever.
And
in fact,
also, most important, happy birthday to my grandma.
Yep, today's grandma's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Grandma BB.
She would have told me to take my kid sister out for dinner and slip me $10 and tell me to pay for the cab. And I'm like, it's much more money than that, Grandma.
I'm going to need $50, Grandma. Thank you guys. And thank you to Ming and Shared Universe for doing our sound as always. Thank you to all of our partners here tonight. And thanks for listening. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.